introduce you to what's called Garden Grove Organics. It's Covington's oldest specialty horticultural supply store.
And horticultural is just fun to say. The shop sort of feels like a tropical oasis when you walk in. They're gearing up for a class to teach folks how to create their own. Cincy Lifestyle reporter Michaela Hughes-Shaw checked it out to learn more.
Hi, I'm Taylor. Welcome to Garden Grove Organics. First, you're greeted with tropical plants, like a room full of plants downstairs. And I think immediately people come in and you can see like a breath releasing from them. Like it's just a relaxing place to be in. Everybody who works here is really knowledgeable about plants and growing systems, either nutrients for your outdoor gardens, everything from growing tomatoes to buying, rare houseplants. We have everything that you need, and we all are really passionate, kind of geeky about the science of gardening and the science of growing. Really well cared for plants as well. That's kind of our thing when we actually do put them on the floor, and like kind of the best version of the plants that you'll be able to see. We're gonna do a terrarium building class. Terrariums are something we've kind of started to make for fun and sell them here in the shop. We buy all the small ferns and mosses and things necessary. And so March 23rd at 7 p.m., it's an Eventbrite event, and it's listed on our Facebook. You'll have everything you need, the terrarium itself, all the layers of substrate, all the plants, and you'll walk away with your own terrarium by the end of it. I like to think of it as just like a micro environment. You're creating something so small, but trying to put every element of nature in it so that it can survive long term. You have, the water, and a lot of times they're sealed so the water is contained, and so you'll see it condense almost like a cloud, and then it'll like continuously water itself. It's just like a beautiful little environment that you can set on your coffee table. All right, so now we are going to make a terrarium. You can see that it gets full, and there's a lot of components into the layering of it. You kind of build from a larger substrate up. You need a compost and fertilizer-free soil. Any sort of bacteria or pathogen introduced into a terrarium can like very easily take over. You just need like very basic soil. Stones for drainage help as well, so that way no water is sitting like right up on top of the plants. And then a lot of it is just like decorating with some fun plants. I always like to pick a plant that is kind of like the focal point, and then smaller ones to kind of like build up around it. First, I'm going to add some stones to the bottom. This kind of creates a base layer. On top of that, I always like to add orchid bark. It has activated charcoal in it, which is one of our big components for terrariums. Activated charcoal keeps fungal and bacterial growth at bay. Got your next substrate is kind of like your gravel mixed with your rocks. I'll put cocoa. Kind of helps keep the soil moist. I always kind of look at it from the side so I can see if I'm like flattening it all the way. I add, this is just small activated charcoal. And then you can add your soil. And sometimes when I get to the soil point, that's when I'm starting to think of what I want my terrarium to look like in the end. Then you can start to add your plants. It's fun to use stones sometimes too, like large stones, anything that you can find. I always recommend, if you are just grabbing things like from your house, cleaning them first. Grab our little pinchers and kind of just shove it down into the soil. And then you just build from there. You kind of just set it around and see where you think a plant should go. Another thing that some people like to do is add like a little touch of whimsy. So they make all these tiny little creatures which are fun, like little gnomes, dinosaurs. And then afterwards, you can add sand to it as well. So you water it really well and then throw a lid on it and then kind of just let it settle, because all these plants have been uprooted and interacted with a little more than they would prefer.
That's cool.
Yes.
That was
Isn't it
amazing,
awesome?
and so
Yeah.
it seems like it would be soothing to like do that too. She's kind of like the Bob Ross of terrarium.
Yes, it was,
was,
so
like, very-
soothing hanging out with Taylor and having her explain. I was like, tell me more. And she
Yeah.
had kind of a reason for each layer and all of that. It was a good time, but this is an opportunity for folks to go out and make their own terrarium.
I would love to do that.
Yes.
I would too.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's actually everything in there is alive. Like
Mm-hmm.
and it seems like it's relatively self-sustaining. You just spray it with the water.
That's the
It
key.
is.
I mean,
Yeah.
for me, because I would need something that can feed itself.
Exactly.
pretty
You
much.
don't really have to worry about it, which is nice, especially
Yeah.
for those who maybe don't have that much of a green thumb. I've heard of a brown thumb before, you know,
Yeah,
how
yeah.
that goes sometimes. She said the longest that she's gone, though, with watering one of them was 2 years. So
Wow.
it just kept doing its thing for 2 years.
That's
amazing.
what I need.
I would like to try it actually with the kids too, especially when I saw the dinosaur. I knew like right away my
Yes,
son
you can
Nico would wanna
customize
do
it
that.
and put anything that you want in there. So this is coming up
I love
March
that.
23rd. Just a reminder there. There's information right there on your screen, and you can find all of the info that you need on the website and on their Facebook too. It's an Eventbrite, and you can just go sign up, create your own little oasis that you can put on your coffee table.
So relaxing
Yeah, I
too.
do.
I
Yeah,
like
it would
that.
be. It'd be fun.
Good way to
Yes.
start off a Monday. I feel
I
very
think
zen
so.
right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Thanks, Michaela.